Okay, this has a lot of parts, but one of the main parts is...
Nice run, Fallon.
Taylor.
As always, makes an incredible entrance.
First in a bar at the age of 13. Then she broke her neck. She overcame all that.
Fallon's now world champ.
World champion.
Congratulations.
She knew that she could do whatever she set her mind to.
What's up, Flomies? Welcome back to another vlog. This is highly requested. How do we keep our horses so shiny and fit? And I'm gonna go through every single step of this. For you guys that are obsessed with keeping your horses clean, you're gonna love this video. If you are not obsessed with keeping your horses absolutely perfect, this is gonna drive you nuts. Go ahead and leave now. Or stick around and get some tips. So, you guys, I'm rocking Fear the brand. If you guys have been OG Flomies, you know that this has been a thing since 2011. This is Jesse's original design, just revamped. This means so much to us. Literally, when Jesse sent this to my phone, I freaked out. Let me show you my phone, by the way. If you guys want to see a very obsessed version of Fear the brand, you can see it right here. And that I color code my apps, but that's a whole nother OCD thing during quarantine. If you guys want to get this, we are going to launch this on the website today, so make sure to go to ranchtressing.com, use code Fallon to get a discount at checkout. I'm going to go through step by step how to keep the horses clean. Now, we have mud, rain, everything else here, so I'm going to show you how we work through it. Now, step one is shavings. Here's the thing also I want to talk about. Horses cost a lot. Everybody knows that, whether you have one or you have 40, it costs a lot. So you have to find the places that you're wanting to budget the most. We never budget on feed. We always buy the highest quality we possibly can, and we don't budget on shavings. Everything else we try to save as much money on as we possibly can, but this is one of the places that we really try not to budget. Now, I do use shavings in all of the stalls, and they are ridiculously clean all the time. The people that help me in the barn are insanely amazing, because obviously normally I'm never here, and I want the horses to receive the highest level of care. So we have a lot of tips for shavings. One is we get pretty fine shavings, not so fine that they would drive a horse's allergies nuts, or me and C Money's allergies, because we have really bad allergies. So we try not to go super fine. However, you know, if you get the big, thick, chunky shavings, they look really pretty in the stall, but you throw most of them away while you're cleaning your stall out, and so it ends up being way more expensive to use. So the other thing is we turn our horses out for the majority of the day. That means that they're not trampling and pooping and peeing on these shavings. They're going outside, so it keeps our barns fresher and cleaner for longer, and we go through a lot less shavings. So let me show you this right here. I have a horse turned out right here, and it is completely cakey, muddy, disgusting. And so you would think that this horse is going to look really terrible, but we wash our horses off. Now, when we wash our horses, we think it's really important that the natural oils and the natural salt from sweat sticks around a little longer. May seem a little crazy, but if you've ever taken an Epsom salt bath, you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about salt and lactic acid. The other thing is with shampoo, if you over shampoo your horses, you're going to strip them of the natural oils, just like your hair. We wash our hair once a week, and for those of you that wash your hair every single day, you may think that's crazy, but we've trained our hair using Jesse Southard's hair training methods. We have started to wash our hair only once a week. Well, we haven't started, we've done that for years, but our horses are the same way. If they look okay, we do not strip their body of the natural oils. So we save a lot of money on shampoo that way. All right, let's go to the barn. Okay, this has a lot of parts, but one of the main parts is during their turnout, these horses are not turned out all together where they can beat up on each other. So they're separated by demeanor and put next to the horses that they get along with really well. Now, for activity like big playtime turnout, they go in that round pen out that you guys just saw the sorrel horse turned out in. That way they can get a little bit more activity. But during the day, this is just their daytime pen. Big part of our routine of making them look really pretty is the sunshine. We think vitamin D is a big part of it. But at the same time, we never turn them out in the hottest part of the day. Right now, it's 73 degrees with a lot of really cool wind. Like, I could definitely put on a sweatshirt right now and be comfortable. So we make sure that these horses have the cover that they need in the hottest part of the day. They're not turned out with bright, bright, bright sun sweating out here. They're not just rolling sweat. They're out here really, really comfortably. And if you can notice, in between these pins out here, there's big spaces where they can't get to each other and attack each other over the fence. Even out here where these horses are undercover, they do have shavings out there, but again, we split the time between out here and in the stalls. Now, this may come as no surprise that we take pristine care of their water. Their water is bleached. Their buckets are bleached out, scrubbed out, rinsed out every single day. It may come as no surprise that if we drink gunky water, our body is going to reflect that. So all of the horses have insanely clean water. These horses always have something to munch on all the time. They're never without food. They're never looking for food. It's not ever spaced way out between feedings, or the feedings are too short in between. We have the feeding at 6:30 a.m. They have something to constantly munch on all of the time until another feeding at about 6:30 p.m. So there's never big gaps in eating. They're either in a place where they can graze, or they have something that they can eat on all of the time inside of their pen. Let's move inside and we'll show you inside the barn. Okay, here in the barn, this is a luxury item. If you can afford it, if you can put it on your goal sheet, Polylast flooring is like one of the most insanely amazing things that we've ever done for the barn. It keeps it warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. I don't know how any of this works, but having an antimicrobial floor means that we have something that we could literally eat lunch on this floor. The other thing that we have in here is an organic fly machine. This is a spray machine. We have a non-toxic formula that sprays the horses in a non-toxic formula. And I realize this is a luxury. Like, you could have this in a bottle, a spray bottle, if you didn't have this set up. I understand a lot of this is very luxurious. I worked a long time to make these things happen when I definitely could not get anywhere near this. So improvise as much as possible. If you get to this point and you can't afford it, this fly system is really great. But inside of it are essential oils. Now, essential oils are going to add oils back into the skin, and the horses are being sprayed from above in these lines that run above their stalls to make sure that flies don't get on them, and at the same time providing a little bit more natural oil onto their skin. I will tell you this, we use 0 toxins in the spray that we use on mane and tails, and we very rarely use a spray on our horses. I would say, maybe when we compete we might spray. We very rarely use anything to spray on our horses. If we do, we really love Espana silk. Really love it. I've used it on my hair. I've used it on anything else. We love mane and tail conditioner. But we very rarely use any kind of things that might have paraffins or waxes or anything like that. We try to let the horses be as natural as possible. And you guys, it shows because they look beautiful. So this is BABYFLO's stall, complete with the Disney sign. And I just want to show you how clean our stalls are all of the time. Now, we didn't prep this stall for this. We're just walking into I could walk into any random stall in here. And you'll see, this is an older barn. It's not brand new with a brand new sparkling paint job. However, we've made it as nice and as safe as economically possible. So in here you'll see, again, we did not prep these stalls. The people that help me with my barn are the most amazing people ever. This is what the water buckets look like all the time. So BABYFLO,
and the goat
has water. But this is what the stall looks like 24 hours a day. Now, let's go look in Mojo's stall because he is a dunker. And again, we have not prepped any of these stalls. So let's go look at Mojo's stall. He is the nastiest. He's not the nastiest horse in a stall. He's just the nastiest the way he eats.
He's just a boy.
Yeah, he's just a boy. He's such a boy about it. Oh, look. Okay, so here's how they've strategized, and that is put water on the opposite side of his feed, so he has to really work to dunk. I'm telling you, this is what Josalie is the greatest barn staff person we've ever had, but she's more like family, so I hate calling her like barn help. Like, she's family. And we're so grateful for her, because these horses, the level of care is just insane. Let's go check out BABYFLO's turnout. This is nothing special. I'm just gonna warn you. There's mud and a goat and cows on the other side of the fence. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. So you can see that we have pre-fruit panels up, which we are so grateful for. We've rearranged these pre-fruit panels 90 different times to make pins to fit around the mud and the weather. You can see they're just tied up with string on the other side to make them as sturdy as possible with the little gap that we needed. But you see there's weeds in here, there's a little bit of mud, and she's gonna come in and be ridden. We're gonna ride her around, ride her in the arena, ride her bareback, play around. If she's got mud on her feet, we'll just rinse those off with just water. If we feel like her hooves are dry in some way, we'll replenish the oil. But really and truly, we don't need to do that, because the shavings are another source of oil that she's going to be standing in when she's inside of her stall. But we think it's nice to get them off the shavings and to touch the earth as a part of just being a natural animal. You can see, looking at her, how shiny she is. Come here, lady. She's super shiny. She has not had a blanket on. She hasn't had a slinky on. She's just been outside here in the weather. It's a little chilly. She's just hanging out. I'll show you a horse that's been ridden that we didn't rinse off. So Lolo has just been ridden, and you can see that there's a little bit of sweat on her. We're gonna leave that on her. It's a little bit chilly outside. Again, I said it's like, let's see, 72 right now, but still there is a little bit of a chill in the air. We're just gonna let her keep that sweat on there, keep that salt on her skin for a little while, and not really worry about getting her too cold in this weather. It's more about making her really, really comfortable. And you can see there's nothing really fancy about these pins. It's all about just being like super hygienic with the horses, if that makes sense. Super high quality feed, super high quality supplements. Let me go show you some of the supplements that the horses are on too. So one thing that I wanted to talk about was supplements. Now, Flowbot is on colostrum. This colostrum is by Forefront Equine. This is great for horses that have a hard time gaining weight. We use it for him because it supports immune function. It's something that he's struggled with since he was a baby. You guys, if you go to forefrontequine.com, you can use code Fallon to save money at checkout. So you definitely want to do that. I'll show you some supplements that we use here on the other side. So we have BABYFLO on 4 digest. That just means that she's able to have perfect GI function, which is a really big deal, especially if you have a horse that tends to colic a lot or has a lot of trouble really digesting everything that comes their way, or maybe gets upset stomach from time to time. 4 digest is super, super important. Okay, so one big part of making your horses look really good is regularly worming. Now, we have a couple of horses, Knick Knack and Neffy, that you cannot give anything orally to. So we use Safeguard pellets that we can use on them. That's really beneficial for making sure that they're regularly wormed. Another thing that I want to address is cleaning your tack. Just having your tack really sparkling and clean, especially during this time, we have no excuse not to have everything really perfect and really clean, but having everything look really clean and presentable is going to help your horses look good all the time. So your undersides of your saddle pads, making sure that they're not rubbing any place. And then lastly, not having unsupervised spots for your horses to go outside. I see a lot of times that people have not really recognized that horses aren't getting along outside, but horses that don't get along well outside and kind of beat up on each other tend to have horses that one is an alpha and one is a beta, which means that one horse is going to get more food than another horse, which can run into a slew of problems. So make sure that maybe you set up a little Nest camera from my Amazon favorites vlog. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure and check that out. But you can set up a little camera and make sure that those horses are getting enough feed, that you've separated their feeding regimen, that they have proper cover, and a place where they can get those natural oils in their feet somewhere. Okay, one thing we forgot to cover was slinkies and blankets. Now, anytime that it gets under 50 degrees, I blanket. Sometimes I do it at 59. It depends on how BABYFLO is feeling. BABYFLO is basically me. So if I feel like I need a sweatshirt or a sweater, I dress her exactly the same. Horses like Flowbot, Mojo, Chuck Norris, they are not at all like that. They get sweaty even if it's like 40 degrees outside. So we just have to just kind of check with each other, make sure everybody's doing good. But for us, slinkies and blankets are great. However, you need to keep them clean. And I know it's a pain in the butt, but you can just throw them on the fence and spray them off with a water hose. Just make sure you knock off last year's stuff, because it smells like PLR. Blankets just smell like PLR. If you don't know what that is, find that in a past vlog. But PLR is just ugh. And so I just spray them down. You can do it just outside on the fence, let them dry on a sunny day. But we do blanket every single time when it hits 49 degrees. Blankets go on, and we just make sure the horses are really, really as comfortable as we can make them. Okay, let's talk workouts. So this is another major, major important part of this. The workouts that we give our horses are something that is stress-free. That means that we're not making 90 runs on these horses. We're not doing it over and over and over again repetitiously until we get it absolutely perfectly right. Sometimes, and a lot of times, especially right now, we're getting on bareback and walking around and allowing these horses to really enjoy their arena time. Walking around, doing some long trotting, loping slowly around the arena, gearing up through the arena to just trot and lope. BABYFLO is just getting walked through the barrel pattern 25 times in a row until she kind of calms down and feels like she's really freed her mind. Then she goes back out to graze. Workouts are vitally important. These horses do get ridden a lot. They enjoy it. They love it. These horses are not stressed out in their training because we don't do training that's, I don't know, I don't want to use, it's not intense training. It is physically active. However, we're not asking these horses to perform above their level. We're asking them to give us 1% every single day until they get stronger and better and it becomes easier for them. So I highly recommend doing workouts that are appropriate for your animal on really safe ground. This ground is worked every single day to make sure that it's as safe as possible. We're not turning barrels on slick, wet ground or grass. And we make sure that we're being as protective as we can. If the horse isn't feeling well that day, they're probably gonna get the day off. If they're feeling really good, we might do a little bit more of an intense workout. But these horses are ripped, they're jacked, their underlines are tucked up because we've done long, consistent work. Not because we've crammed some sessions in between, rushed, and gotten our horses really sweaty and lathery. We've worked our way up to their certain level. Today I'm gonna get Sunday Brunch out of the pasture. She's not been worked in a long time. I'm gonna get her out of the pasture and we'll work slow and steady until we work her up back to her competitive pace. It's gonna be a while and we're gonna have to be really consistent, but that way I can ensure a really healthy, really beautiful comeback for Sunday Brunch. I hope that this vlog helped you so much. I love it. I want suggestions for the next how-to that you want. Go ahead and comment below. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to be subscribed and ding that notification bell. And as always, don't forget to count your blessings, drink your protein, and say thank you to Jesus. See you next time.